Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. A special welcome to those members of TradersArmy.com for our core market perspective. Hope everybody had a great trading week. We're going to do what we do each and every day in the markets. Take a look at these markets from a technical perspective, identifying potential turning points, breakout trades, and the like. Real quick caveat for those of you new to the channel, do me a favor, click a subscribe to the channel so that you get the updates as they come. And these trades that we're looking at are the lines that we draw. We leave them on the charts because we want to be held accountable to the trades that we identify. As traders, we all have to be held accountable, and our P&Ls do that for us. So let's go ahead and dive right in. On the weekend edition, I like to go a little bit bigger picture at times. And last week, we really just saw a whole lot of nothing happening. And I had spoken last week on Friday morning about the potential for a breakdown. And it was both the S&P and the NASDAQ. So I'm going to leave both of the S&P and the NASDAQ sitting together side by side. And we can see that as the markets opened tonight, we did get a little bit of a breakdown. We broke down out of this area through here. And I think there's room for this thing to keep falling. Now, the S&P hasn't quite given us the same breakdown yet. I will say that this week, I don't feel like we're going to get a whole lot of announcements before the Fed speaks later in the week. And you know, the Fed speaking later in the week, the more hawkish we are, the more I think that we're going to go down. And there's just something that tells me that we're going to break out to the downside. And call it a gut feeling. I know I'm not supposed to trade with my gut, and I try to keep my gut out of things. But my gut tells me that I feel like there's some weakness that's going to happen this week. So I'm going to leave these breakout trades in place. If you're already in that NASDAQ, the breakout trade, I'm okay with it. I will tell you I like the S&P better for a short than I do the NASDAQ, simply because the NASDAQ's been the overperforming market, and you want to short the weaker market. So looking at crude oil. So crude oil, we had a potential short confirmation entry right here, and this is exactly what we want to see. When I'm going to be wrong, I want to be wrong big time, meaning I didn't even get filled on this trade because our rules on this is that if it comes to this area, we get short on the reversal as it comes back out because it's a dashed line. Dashed lines always mean that we wait for confirmation. This trade, no way you should have gotten into this trade, would not have followed the rules. And so by not breaking the rules, you stay out of it, and so you miss any of that little loss that you would have occurred in that trade. Now remember, we had that set up that way because we've already been to that area once. It was a fairly weak area to begin with, and so I'm not surprised that it blew through, and that's why we set up those dashed line trades to begin with. As far as adding anything new to crude oil, I'm really not at this point comfortable doing that. I'm going to leave crude be. There's nothing I'm going to add. I will say, you know, we did get this is a good reversal candle right here. And based off the level that blew right through, this could be a potential, candle-to-candle entry right here. So if you're long on it right now, I'd have a stop just below this candle's low, and I'd be moving that stop up as we get new ones that accumulate. Looking at gold. Now, gold, unfortunately, we just missed the entry on gold. This was a confirmation style of an entry that will remain in play as well. Nothing more to add on gold, just like there's nothing more to add on the other markets. So when you have one of those days, or frankly even one of those weeks where the markets don't do a whole lot, we're not going to add a whole lot of positions. I don't want to add more lines just for the sake of adding more lines. In the bonds, we still have a breakdown. This is the breakdown that I had talked about on Friday. I'm not sure if any of you were able to take this. We said that if we do break below this trend line, then there's room for price to go down. So hopefully some of you are able to catch that short and ride this train down a little bit. So that one is still running if you were able to catch that one. And then the Aussie is coming close to our potential entry. Now, we are coming close to our entry, but we got this base here before a drop. So that means that our targets are going to be pretty close. So keep an eye on your target when you're looking at the Aussie. Nothing really to add in the Aussie based on the price movement that we're seeing right now. Could possibly put a short right here. If we do get a bounce up, then look at this as a potential for a short. coming back up from where we are right now. Looking at the euro, nothing to add in the euro or in the Canadian. The Canadian, we had a breakout short on the Canadian dollar. I'm not sure how many of you took that short on the Canadian, but that is still running. So our breakout trades have really been our bread and butter trades for the last couple of weeks, because that's really the setups that have been a little bit more effective in this style of market environment. Great British Pound, we had the breakout trade up here, and we've kind of continued that run higher. There's another potential for a breakdown below this line. I'll leave this in place. Nat gas, we've got another breakdown set up right here, and then the reversal in copper, which we just missed earlier in the week, and it still is in play. So all in all, not a whole lot of things to add. Typically on Monday mornings, I will come out with an update. If we don't have much movement overnight, I'm not going to put another Monday morning update out there. We'll see what it looks like first thing tomorrow morning. If I do, it'll probably be out pretty early. I want to get my day started pretty early tomorrow, if indeed we do get some movement in the overnight hours. The thing to just keep an eye on is how are these breakouts going to be affected, and then just keep an eye on what the Fed says throughout the week. You've got to make sure that your stops are in place. But all in all, these Fed saber rattlings shouldn't change your long-term perspective. If you're still a long-term bull, don't let these little market undulations change your long-term perspective. If you are a long-term bear, then you probably have been getting eaten alive, and so just be careful with that. But seriously, don't change your big picture perspective just simply because of intraday market undulations. So hope everybody has a great trading week. If there's anything you need, please feel free to reach out, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Later.